but they don't appreciate how important it is to start early. You know, the time to start planning for retirement is not when you're thinking about retirement. and I want us to understand that, as you said, people are living longer. People are living 2 to 3 decades after formal work. So you could leave formal work at 55, 60, 65, and you need to have an income until, a stream of income until you're 80, 85 quite possibly. And remember, as we get older, particular health challenges tend to become more likely. Yes. And so programs like these, encouraging people to save for retirement is really important. But as I said in the last program, finding ways to change the choice architecture.
The big benefits. What are the big benefits of going through a formal pension system to save for your retirement?
The biggest benefit is that you get to participate or save through a tax advantage scheme, where your income is your pension contribution is deducted before your income is taxed.
Yes.
And the accretions on those returns the returns on those investments are not taxed as well. Right. So when you hit retirement, when you reach what we call the decumulation stage, when you're pulling down that pension, that you will have a taxable event where your income will be taxed. That's the biggest benefit. There are a number of other benefits as well. You are able to provide for beneficiaries in a seamless way. So you can name your children, your spouse, a dependent as a beneficiary. And so if you were to die before you get your entire benefit, your beneficiaries get, without having to probate a will. You are also able to provide for joint pensions. You and your spouse can get a pension when you reach retirement, depending on what the scheme provides. So there are a number of benefits in terms of saving through a retirement arrangement. I think what we need to understand, though, and I want to kind of come back to the point I was making earlier, is that enjoying these benefits, that's great, and ensuring that people understand that these benefits exist, also great. But we have to recognize that after how many years, how many decades of doing this, all of these financial literacy programs, all of these initiatives to encourage people to save for retirement, we are still at 9 to 11% in private sector, in terms of private sector pension coverage. When you add public sector workers and now the tourism pension scheme, we're just at 18%. It's still woefully inadequate.
Very low.
So we have to find a way to encourage people, get people into a pension arrangement without them having to think too much about it. And so the auto-enrollment proposal that the PIAJ is advocating for is going to see if it is onboarded by the government, and we do have a lot of support in the private sector for it, we'll see employers being mandated to put an employee in a retirement scheme where that employer does not have a pension plan of its own. So if I go to job X, and job X employer does not have a pension plan, that's fine. But he has to put me in a retirement scheme. No, it's not a tax, because I always control my retirement security and my retirement savings. If I do not want to be in that retirement scheme, I can opt out. And that's it. And I will have, there are other features to the proposal, auto escalation in terms of the contribution rate, auto re-enrollment, because sometimes you opt out because at this time it's not convenient to save for retirement, but a year later it might just be convenient. And I think if we look at that, we change the choice architecture and put people in. So rather than have an opt-in regime, which is what we have now, where we're expecting everybody who doesn't have a pension plan to take the step to opt in, we change it to an opt-out. So that we're going to put you in, the law is going to require employers to put you in, and you have to take the step to opt out. And what studies have shown, behavioral science shows that people, the same inertia and procrastination that kind of keep us from putting ourselves in the first place,
keep you from opting out.
And so it has had a lot of success across the globe in terms of auto-enrollment programs. Not every country, some countries it's not that successful, and there are usually very clear reasons for that. But I do think that this is a way that we can solve one of the problems. It will not solve the entire issue. But as I said, you have micro-pensions for gig workers and low-income workers. You have auto-enrollment for those in the formal space. You can also consider things like, save as you pay. So basically, you're allowed to, when you go and you pay for a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
You know, you will then, you also put a little aside, you know,
Okay,
as you buy
for
something,
pension.
you put something aside. As you buy something, you put something aside. So it requires a technological underplumbing, you know, to gird some of these initiatives. But it happens successfully in a lot of countries, so it can happen here. You know, and we have
Absolutely.
significant mobile penetration in our country. Everybody has a phone.
Absolutely.
And using the phone as a kind of linkage to your retirement account is quite, you know, doable. And it's low-hanging fruit. We just need the initiative and the will, especially at the government level.
Absolutely great. Great.